why are students and faculty protesting against a bill that claims to improve the governance of one of the premier institute of India, that is Indian Statistical Institute? Government claims that this bill would help in improving the overall governance and the architecture of the institute, but on the other hand also is criticized on the basis that it would dilute the independence or autonomy of the institute. So to what extent both government and protesters or critics are correct, and what is this entire issue about? Let us try to understand this in more detail. Now first of all, to give you background of this entire topic, the bill was brought last year itself. The draft bill was prepared and then it was provided on the platform for discussion around, and a lot of criticism we have seen coming around the bill as such. Now this year finally government has introduced this bill in the Lok Sabha. The bill is going to replace the ISI Act, that is the Indian Statistical Institute Act of 1959, that till now was governing the functioning of the institute, that is headquartered in Kolkata and has branches in several major cities such as Bangalore, Chennai, etc. Now governance reform is what government promises by bringing this bill, and on the other hand critics argue that it is a way how greater extent or role of central government can be exercised or played in the overall governance of the institute as such. Faculty and students have been continuously protesting, and critics and media also have written their arguments that why this is not a good bill. Now before understanding the entire topic and the nitty-gritty of bill, if you look at briefly about the institute itself, the institute is one of the oldest premier institute of India that was established in the British period 1931 itself by a well-known scholar of India, PC Mahalanobis. As you can see from the photograph here, PC Mahalanobis, he was the founding father. He can be considered as the founding father of the ISI. Initially, ISI was established as a research laboratory of the Presidency College in the Kolkata. Later, it was registered separately under the Societies Registration Act of 1860, and then further West Bengal Societies Registration Act of 1961. Headquartered in Kolkata. Then in 1959, Government of India listed it as an institute of national importance due to stellar research and education work the institute has carried out, and the number of research scholars, especially in the field of statistics and mathematics, the institute has provided. Now, before understanding about the recent issue, I would want to bring your attention to the fact that Legacy IS Academy, we are going to soon commence regular weekday batches that is going to start on 7th of September and 3rd of November. This program will, the program feature of this program is that every day between Monday to Friday, classes will run, and for students who are preparing for the examination along with jobs or full-time study, for them also we have weekend batches planned on Saturday and Sunday. 10 to 5 am you will have the class schedule. It will start on 8th of August, then further 10th of October and 12th of December. Now in this entire course program feature, we ensure that the demand of UPSC, which is the comprehensive coverage of GS paper, is met. At the same time, we understand that students also need guidance and help outside of the classroom, and mentorship role of mentorship cannot be underemphasized here. That's why we also have mentorship session, doubt solving session. We also ensure regular interaction between the students and educators so they can get their doubts clear, whether it is related to general subject or even the general guidance for preparation as such, and also to ensure that there is a proper we can say there is a proper coordination and communication between the students and teachers. Maximum 40 students we enroll per batch. We also have men's science scientific programs as well as test series for prelims and mains. And without saying, we understand the role of optional in ensuring the name of person in the holy PDF of UPSC or what rank you will get in UPSC. That is largely determined by the optional. That's why from 17th of August we are going to commence optional program also. That will be in psychology, PSIR, anthropology and sociology, the four well known and most interesting optional, most chosen optional in the UPSC examination. So if you want to know about the course programming feature, you can give a call to the number being displayed here. You can also scroll through our website whose link is given, and you can download our Legacy IS app as well. Now the present governance, if you try to understand what bill is changing. So present governance is carried out by 13-member council, and then there is an elected chairperson. This chairperson then is the main head of the institute as of now, and then the council itself appoint the director who oversees the regulation and the management of the institute, the admission of the institute and all that. Apart from that, in the 13-member council, currently you also have representation from the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, mostly it is called as Finance Ministry, as well as Reserve Bank of India as such. Now, why the bill? That is the biggest question. Government says that the bill is necessary because governance reform is required, and the ISI is no longer the institution that it was in the older time. It has become an institute of national importance. It has acquired the similar league or rank as IITs and IIMs enjoy in our country. That's why the governance of ISI should also be on the line of IITs and IIM, and faster decision making is required in many of the areas, whether it is for overall management of the course perspective, from the admission perspective, granting of degrees perspective, and also 33-member council that you have, it is a bloated council. Government says that we need a smaller governing body aligned with the IITs and IIMs, how they are governed as such. All of these decisions through the bill would bring administrative efficiency that will be helpful for better and smooth running of the institute, efficient management of the institute, as well as also in future it is expected to help the students who will be studying through this institute as such. Apart from that, the major provision of this bill is that President of India would serve as a visitor of the institute, and also the President of India will on the basis of the you can say the suggestions of the union central government, she will, or currently we know the president is Draupadi Murmu, she will appoint the director as such. So overall new framework, new governance framework is being brought. Academic council is going to be constituted and a smaller board of governance will be constituted here. Chairperson to this board of governance will be nominated by president on the suggestions of union government, as we have discussed. Large number of central government nominees would find their place in the board of governance. Apart from them, there will also be eminent personalities and including director who will be part of this board of governance and such. Now, what is the function of the board of governance? So, as per the new bill, it would serve several functions. For example, all the decision related to the administrative matters of the institute would be overseen by this board. Granting of degrees to the institutes who pass through this institute, make appointments to the academic and other posts as such. So, all these are the proposed structural changes. Students, as we can see on the other hand, are pointing to the fact that deliberations and discussions with the ISI itself, the present management itself, student and faculty itself has not taken place before the bill was introduced, and that's why they are demanding to discuss the ISI bill with ISI first before making sea changes. Now, director and academic council as per the new bill would be, director for example would be appointed by a search cum selection committee and such, and also director will have oversight of visitor. Visitor, as we have seen, is the President of India. At the same time, director would be subjected to periodic review. The performance of the institute would be subjected to periodic review, and academic recommendations can be suggested by the board of governance to the director and such, and based on that, director can take decision. Now, once a director is appointed, he can be removed by the visitor, that is the President of India. President of India can also order inquiries. He can put institutes for review as such, and she will also exercise largely oversight power as far as the functioning of the ISI is concerned. Regulatory supervision to some extent, we can say, will be exercised by the visitor, that is the President of India as such. Now, so this is the entire framework. Overall, see changes in the governance model, in the model of appointment of director, in the overall composition of the council or board that will determine major decision, that will be major decision making body of the institute as such. But there are certain concerns and opposition. That's why many opposition parties also have voiced concern against this bill in the Lok Sabha when it was introduced. So, first concern of the critics are that the bill is a way to reduce the autonomy that institute has enjoyed till date. Bill basically is trying to bring institute under greater control of central government. Now, why and how bill is bringing greater extent of central control over the institute? So, first of all, the independence of director to some extent is being compromised here, as we have seen that the power to appoint the director as well as remove the director and also to subject director under supervision directly rests to the visitor, who is the President of India, and President of India would work on the we can say on the suggestions or recommendations of the union government as such. That's why the limited this autonomy or independence has been compromised. Apart from that, the number of government nominees in the board of governance have increased. That is also one claim. For example, in the search cum selection committee that would appoint a director, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, their members, their nominees have found their way as such. On the other hand, also many of the critics argue that the bill has been introduced without having a broad consultation with all the stakeholders, including the present management, faculty, students, and even the eminent personalities in the academia. And that's why, because the bill has been subjected to limited consultation, passing it and then converting it, transforming into an act would become a challenge, would something that government should avoid. That is the suggestion of the critics as such. So that is all how we can understand the discussion is going around as far as the ISI bill is concerned. So that's all about this particular topic. How I hope you understood that how the governance of ISI is going to change and what is the reason behind the continuous furor, or we can say the protest by the faculty and students. Thank you very much.